Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Charlie and I help people manifest what is meant for them. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you why you need to ignore your 3D reality in order to manifest, to attract, and get the things that you want in your life. I'm going to start off by saying you don't actually need to ignore your 3D reality because you can't. You need to function in the reality that you are experiencing at the moment. You can't just close your eyes and try and ignore your current reality. But what I mean by that is you don't react to the things in your reality that you don't prefer. For example, let's say you are trying to manifest a loving relationship into your life and you're walking down the high street and you see this couple and you start to feel jealous at them. You are reacting to your current 3D reality. You are reacting to the fact that you don't have the relationship that you want. Let's say you want more abundance in your life and you walk into a shop and you say, oh, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. You are reacting to your current 3D reality. You need to be somewhat delusional and think that your imagination is more real than your current reality. So if you are walking into that shop, use your imagination and you can say, I can have this, I can have this, I can have this. Yeah, yes, you might not be able to currently afford it, but you are living in a different reality. You are ignoring the 3D. Of course, this is easier said than done. And a lot of people actually misunderstand this next step because sometimes we have to react to some things in our life. We can't help it, okay? And the reason why we react to things in our 3D is because we are still holding on to a belief that is preventing the manifestation from coming into our reality. For example, let's say you're holding on to a deeper belief about yourself that you are unlovable. If you are holding on to that core belief, doesn't matter what manifestation techniques you use, is you will not be able to manifest and keep a loving relationship that you want. So if you end up reacting to something outside of you that triggers that negative feeling, you then want to identify and ask yourself the question, what must I believe to be true that is making me feel this way? Because this is the way that it works. Is your beliefs generate how you feel, which generates how you think, which generates how you behave. So if you are reacting to something, that is an emotional response. So therefore, the emotional response is just something that is coming from a deeper belief that you are holding on to. So you want to learn to identify that belief. So in a way, a reaction is very helpful to help you identify what you need to let go of. So you want to do your best to react to things as if you are already living in the reality that you prefer. But if you end up reacting in a negative emotional way, then you can work on identifying that negative belief that you need to let go of. Another example is let's say you get a bill or you have to spend more money that you have, you end up reacting that you don't have enough money. That is because you are holding on to a negative belief of lack instead of abundance. So once you can learn to identify that belief, and one of the ways that you can do that is to ask yourself the question, what must I believe to be true that is making me feel this way? Because your beliefs generate how you feel. Then you can focus on identifying the belief. Another powerful way is also to monetize the types of thoughts that you're having. This is why having a journal is really good. So the belief generates the feeling, and then the feeling is going to generate certain thoughts. So if you notice yourself having the same sort of thought patterns over and over again, start to write it down. And then you can start to track it back. What must I believe to be true that is making me feel, think, or behave this way? And let's say, for example, you then start to identify a core belief. For example, let's say you find the core belief, I am unlovable. Then what you want to do is you want to question that belief. You want to doubt it. As soon as you question that belief, as soon as you doubt it, you let the belief go. And it is really that simple. The problem is because the feelings can be very intense, the negative thought patterns can be very strong, is people will buy into those thoughts or buy into those feelings, and the belief will stay alive, because your reality is like a mirror. Okay, it's constantly reflecting back to you what you believe to be true. So unless you go along and identify the belief and learn to let that go, you're going to keep experiencing the same mirror of reality over and over again. So that's how you do the process of manifesting what you want, by ignoring your 3D reality. So don't react to your 3D reality if you can help it. Live in your imagination of what you would prefer to experience. But if you end up reacting to something, that is a good thing, because it's just pointing to a belief that you are holding on to. Now, we have something called an emotional guidance system. This emotional guidance system is designed to let you know if you're holding on to a belief that's in alignment with who you are or out of alignment with who you are. So when you experience negative feelings, they are actually just a signal. It's just a signal letting you know that you're holding on to a belief that's not true, that's not in alignment with who you are and who you prefer to be. If you prefer to be in a loving relationship and you prefer to be loved, you're going to experience a negative feeling if you're holding on to a belief that you are unlovable. So this emotional guidance system is just simply doing its job to help you identify when you're holding on to a negative belief. And once you work on letting that go, you'll notice that your reactions to these things will start to lessen massively, because the belief isn't triggering a negative feeling, a negative thought, or a negative behavior. Okay, and that's how you essentially ignore your 3D reality, by reacting to things as if you are already living in the reality they prefer. But if you feel a negative feeling, work on letting that negative belief go. So thank you for watching. If you want a bit more information about how to align with your true self and let go of these negative beliefs, I've got a school community, which I'll put in the link below, that helps you with this process in a simple and practical way. So I appreciate you watching. Hope you have an amazing day. Take care.